Hi, welcome to the Run Testers. I'm Kieran.
I'm Nick, and this is our multi-tester review of the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2. First, we talk about the key stats of the shoe, starting with the price, Kieran.
Yeah, so this will cost you £210 in the UK and $250 in the US. That's a bit of an odd conversion, isn't it?
Yeah, normally they're much closer, but that's probably fair. Thank you, Brooks, for actually giving us a UK price that's fair. The drop of the shoe is 8mm from heel to toe. It's a big old stack. It's getting close to that 40mm limit, but doesn't cross it. It's a legal race shoe, always key. And the weight of the shoe, this is my UK size 9, is 223 grams, which puts it lighter than a lot of the other shoes out there. It's lighter than the Adios Pro, it's lighter than the Alphafly.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just not as light as the Vaporfly, which is under 200 grams.
You can kind of feel that in the hands, can't you?
Yeah. Right, let's get into the design of the shoe. And I think a lot of the key stuff here is how it differs from the Hyperion Elite 1, which was not a very good shoe, but this is a good shoe. The upper is the same though. It's this kind of mesh upper. It's very lightweight. It's pretty nice. Like I've had no problems with fit, and it's got an incredibly wide toe box.
Yeah, I really like that.
Which adds stability, but also makes it comfortable on the run. The midsole, so this is the key difference. The Hyperion Elite 1 had a DNA Zero foam midsole, which was a very lightweight EVA, really light, but very firm, not very comfortable. I wouldn't want to run in that shoe really past about 45 minutes. I never saw it as a marathon racer as a result. It was quite fast for short stuff, but it felt like a racing flat and was not very durable. This is DNA Flash foam. Now this is the foam that Brooks put in the Hyperion Tempo shoe when they released the first Hyperion Elite, and also the Brooks Catamount Trail shoe. And it's brilliant. It's a nitrogen-infused EVA. It's still ridiculously light, you can tell by the weight of the shoe, but it's much more comfortable while still being very responsive and fast. This feels like a super foam, basically. It feels like it's in the bracket of, these kind of, everyone else is doing these ridiculous foams, and this is right up there. And then on the outsole of the shoe, it's this is a road racing shoe. There's a bit of rubber. I've had no problems with grip, have you? But I wouldn't take it off the road, really.
No.
In terms of fit, it's quite a generous shoe. I find it really nice and true to size. I definitely wouldn't suggest sizing down in this.
No, I love this shoe actually, in terms of fit in the uppers and the room in the toe box and the way it fit. Perfect sort of fit to size, the 8.5 that I ran in. Yeah, and actually one of the most comfortable shoes I've run in quite a while.
So running performance-wise, we've done quite a lot of miles in this shoe, and obviously I did quite a lot in the Hyperion Elite 1 when I had it as well, and it's kind of night and day difference. It's really pretty spectacular to run in this.
Yeah, you were very disappointed with the one, and this has been a game changer for that.
Yeah, definitely. I've done a good variety of runs in the shoe. I think I did a long track session where I did 5 2K reps, kind of playing with pace. So kind of some were alternating 75 second a lap, some were quicker, and the last one was a progression from 90 down to I think 70 seconds for a lap. And I kind of ended up doing the last overall mile in around 5 minutes and just feeling ridiculously strong at the end of what was a hard track session. Because they do give you the support, which the Brooks Hyperion Elite 1 didn't, of these super shoes, which is you finish fast runs strong because you feel like you've been protected on the run, I think.
And I've done kind of a mixture of runs. Probably I've done fewer miles than Nick has, but one of the things when I put this on, I went out and I wasn't expecting to be able to run that fast. When I looked down at my watch for the heart rate that I was putting out, these were giving me almost like 30 seconds per minute extra than I thought I was going to get that day on quite tired legs. I was really surprised.
They really do protect you while still being very light and quick. And I've done some progression runs in them. It's basically the feeling I've always had taken away from hard runs in the shoe is at the end of a run going, I feel like I could give a bit more now if I wanted to. If I was in a race, I feel like I've got more to give, which is exactly what you want from a shoe like this. I do think they're really interesting shoes in that they've got a huge stack, but they do not feel like a Vaporfly. Even the Adios or the Sauconys, which all have very distinct, kind of either bouncy or very good rolling. They've got some kind of rolling technology in here, but actually they feel pretty much like a normal shoe. Just brilliant.
Yeah, and I actually love that. Some of the shoes that you've tried out, like the Nike Tempo recently, shoes that kind of intrude and you're very well aware of what's happening underfoot. Some of them work very well, but actually I kind of really like the fact that this just feels like you're running naturally.
Yeah.
But you're getting more whilst you're doing so.
Exactly. I think Brooks actually talked big about this, about encouraging a runner's natural stride, your natural run, but supporting you through it. So you don't really feel the plate in this. The foam's in the way, and it's comfortable. It's not soft. It's responsive, but it's not like springy. It's just nice. And I think one of the big things about this that they even get at the end of marathons is these are a lot more stable than a lot of these high stack shoes. They've got that huge wide kind of toe box. blocks. But even in general, the fact that the foam isn't so soft and springy means you are getting more stability on the run.
Yeah.
And I do think that's really going to help people who, at the end of a marathon you might be struggling, and actually you might, if it's you're sponging around on these super foams and you're going the wrong way, your form's off, it actually might not be helping you that much.
Yeah.
One thing we will note is that you've had a bit of calf tightness in this shoe, which is interesting.
Yeah, after the times that I've run in it, and I don't know, this may just be where I'm at in my training and the way that I've been putting in quicker miles on those days and come off with a bit of calf tightness, but the times I have run in them, the following day, wake up in the morning when I'm walking down the stairs, there's noticeable tightness in the bottom of my calves, which has raised a little bit of an alarm bell, but you've had none of that, right?
Well, that's the thing, because we have different foot strike. You're a mid to 4 foot striker. I heel crash, heel smash, however you want to term it, and I tend not to get any calf issues anyway from any shoes because of that style of running. I've got high cadence anyway, so I don't get that stretched calf feeling, but I haven't had any problems further up the leg either. I found it, actually it's the kind of shoe that I've marked for if we ever get to stop testing new carbon shoes, as one that will go in my rotation for logging a lot of training miles in, because I think it's fast. It's brilliant for sessions, but I found very, very protective of your legs. And
I will keep testing this because I'm desperate to be able to put it in my rotation. I'm hoping that it's just me, because I think this is a great natural shoe to run in. I think it's another one of those shoes that when you kind of put it on instantly, it just feels good. Like I want to go and run in this.
Yeah, and exactly how I felt with the Hyperion Tempo training shoe. And I've got the Brooks Catamount down here. We're doing a race tomorrow. I intend to use that shoe just because the foam really works. So it's clear that we both really, really like this shoe, but that, to be honest, right now in 2020 isn't enough. There are so many brilliant shoes out there, so I guess the key question is, where do you put it in the kind of rankings of things like the Adios Pro, the Vaporfly, the Alphafly, the Saucony? Where would you put it, Kieran, really, for you?
It's such a difficult question. I mean, I think in terms of different uses, I think this is something that I would be much more happy to do regular training in. It's the way I feel, because I want to go and run in it.
Yeah.
And I would be more inclined to do that than either of the Nike shoes that are the top of the range. And actually, with the durability issue, probably the Adios Pro 2, this feels like it's going to last longer to me as well. So I think it could neatly fit into more sort of regular training shoe.
I do think that. I do generally, I put quite a lot of miles in Hyperion Tempo and see no loss in response from the foam at all. Obviously, this has got a little bit less on the outsole, but I think it's going to be durable. I kind of agree with you. It's not really a fair comparison, but like, Hoka Carbon X I always use as more of a training shoe than a racing shoe, and this is that whilst also being a training shoe. I feel like I get the similar stability that I get from the Carbon. It's a shoe I'll happily log long run after long run in. And I do want to race in it. I do think it might surprise people actually in how close it gets to the performance. Right now, if I had my A race tomorrow that I'd spent all year training for, especially like a marathon, I'd be putting on the Alphafly. And I think this actually might excel you. I think this will do better than some shoes over shorter distances though, because it isn't spongy, it's responsive, it's lighter. I think if you're doing a lot of sharp turns in the 5K, this is going to be better for you than the Alphafly because of that stability and the fact that it doesn't have that spongy feel. Yeah, so maybe right now I'm still clinging to my Nikes just because they've done so well for me.
Do you think the Alphafly is a more comfortable shoe though? And because there's a difference here. Like there's fast shoes and then there's comfortable shoes, and I think it depends if you want to make that a little bit of that sacrifice on race day. Or actually, I just want to go fast, and I'm gonna put up with some of the things that might not be as comfortable. This feels to me like a more comfortable shoe.
It's more comfortable. I would never, the Alphafly, there are lots of times I go, I could do with my hard running that today. I go, actually, I'm going to run on this surface, I'm going to run with these corners. I actually don't want to wear the Alphafly. I never have this shoe. I'd be happy to pretty much any run on this unless I was going to rip it up on gravel, maybe. But I think basically it comes to your full-on race, I'd go for the Alphafly as a shoe that I probably think gives me the most confidence that I'm going to hit my PB, even the Vaporfly, although I do prefer the Alphafly of late. But I think the Brooks is right there with the Saucony and the Adios, which are shoes I really love as well. But I think it's right there. I think over time it might even prove that. I think it's a shoe that will definitely surprise people on race day. I think that I've always had that with Hyperion Tempo as well. It's always like a shoe. There's no real special flash tech here. It's just a nice foam, and then you run in it and you go, "This is brilliant. I'm hitting everything I want to hit, basically."
And again, you've got that price point, which is a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, 210. So that's above like the Adios and the Saucony. But it's a lot cheaper than the Vaporfly and the Alphafly, which are never available. Brooks, in the past, have been better on availability, but I think that might just be because no one wanted the Hyperion Elite 1. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, basically, I've got nothing positive things to say about the shoe. I might still race in the Alphafly, but I will be logging a hard race in this shoe at some point, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being a thing that enters my rotation as a trainer and a racer.
Yeah, I would say the same.
That's it, guys. That's our multi-test review of the Hyperion Elite 2. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and jump in the comments if you have any questions about this shoe, or if you want to tell us you want to compare to any other shoes.
Do not criticise his heel smashing.
Yeah, please don't.
No,
it's fine.
do. It's fine.
Yeah, have a go at it. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm very confident in my times. Come at me. But yeah, let us know anything else you want us to review if we can get it, or if you want the shoe compared to any others. We've got a huge carbon shoe roundup video. Go and watch that. You'll see how this fits in with other shoes there.
Yeah. And if you've worn this, tell us. We want to hear how you found it as well. It's always really interesting for us to hear how other people out there have found these shoes too.